Hi, sixth grade. This recording is for Thursday, and it is for our lesson continuing studying Islam. Today, what you're going to do is you're going to access my Wakelet that I've created. A Wakelet is just a way for me to gather a bunch of resources and share them with you. So you'll see here I have a picture of what is the Kaaba. You should know that from our lesson yesterday. You can see the title, you can see the lesson, you can see another picture of a mosque, which I'll talk about here in a second. You can also see a PDF, and then you have a bunch of other sources. There's a graphic of the 5 pillars of Islam, an interesting video about Ramadan, the date of Ramadan, a video about the Hajj, and then just a virtual tour, not a virtual tour, an actual tour of the Kaaba and then the most famous mosque in Islam. So, what we're going to do today, we're not going to look at all of this information now. We're just going to look at some of it together. I'm going to have you open up this PDF. And I'm not going to read through this with you. That would make for a very long lesson. But what I am going to have you do is follow along with me as I point out some of the important details about this reading. First of all, I want you to notice that this first section is called Life Before Muhammad. So this is similar kind of to what we talked about yesterday. You'll see some of the same words like nomads being used here. You'll see the word Arabic and Arabs used like we talked about yesterday. But then you'll notice some new information that we did not talk about yesterday. You'll notice that Abraham, the same Abraham from the Bible, is mentioned here. You'll also maybe recognize from your Bible stories the fact that Abraham took his servant Hagar to have a son. God did not want him to do this. He wanted him to have a son with his wife Sarah, who is Isaac. But Muslims trace their heritage back to Abraham's son Ishmael. And Christians and Jews trace the Jewish heritage back to Isaac. So that's one of the big differences here. Now, is there any proof that Ishmael was in fact the founder of all Arab or Muslim people? No, there's not, but there's no proof for the other way. It could be accurate. They could actually, in fact, be people that came directly from Ishmael's line. This is one of the reasons why Muslims feel like they have a connection to Christians and Jews. They call them people of the book because they believe that we all come from, or we all call Abraham our father of our religion. And I believe we talked about this yesterday, the fact that Christians are not necessarily on the same page as Muslims, since we do believe so many different things about God and heaven and hell and how to get to heaven. Now you'll see the city of Mecca being mentioned, which is what we talked about yesterday, the birthplace of Islam. You're going to notice what Ishmael and Abraham built, which is something we talked about yesterday as well. You're going to see how the people of Mecca treated the Kaaba, what Abraham and Ishmael built. And then you're going to see the start of Islam by looking at kind of a short biography of the Prophet Muhammad. So I want you to read through this here and make sure you understand exactly how Muslims view Muhammad. Do they view him as like how we view Jesus? Do they view them like how we would view a prophet in the Old Testament? I want you to pay attention to what Muslims say about Muhammad. As you continue on, you're going to see some more information about Muhammad, including his first wife. He went on to have several others, but this Khadija is her name. It's not mentioned here, but she's the more famous one. You'll also see his interactions with Jews and Christians. You'll see his first revelation that he had, which we talked about yesterday. And you're going to see how he taught, or what he taught, and how people reacted to this. This is page 2. You'll also see a short timeline here, which is really interesting and helpful if you're interested in reading more. Finally, your last few paragraphs will focus on Muhammad fleeing Mecca, going to the city of Medina, forming alliances or trying to form alliances with people, and then finally conquering the city of Mecca about 10 years or a little less than 10 years later with an army. So this is going to lead to basically the end of what we had talked about yesterday. This is just 3 pages of pretty easy reading, but if you have any questions, please, of course, let me know, especially if you are struggling to understand something as you read. Now, when you're done reading, or as you're reading, you can do them all at the same time. You can go over to the forms that I'm going to post as well. Here, you have multiple questions that you're going to post, or you're going to answer, and then you're just going to submit it when you're finished. You're not going to be shown what the correct answers are yet. This is not considered a quiz. This is just for me to gauge your comprehension. On Friday, together we will be looking at the responses, and then we'll talk more in depth about the Hajj and Ramadan on Friday. That is our focus. So that means that on Friday, your assignment is going to be to go through, where did my Wakelet go? Here we go, the Wakelet. And on Friday, I'll be posting another video walking you through some of these cool details about Ramadan and the Hajj and as well. So that'll be explained to you more in a video as well as in our synchronous learning on Friday. That's all for today. Have a great day.